Hey everybody, my name is Ben, and I have bipolar disorder. So the purpose of this video, if I could really define it, is just to tell you a little story about my journey through it, and to hopefully maybe dispel some myths, or you know, put a little humor to this. But it's serious. You know, I have bipolar 1, which is the most serious of the bipolars. Anyway, but I got what I need to tell you the story. I got myself some milk and some Oreos. Actually, that has nothing to do with the story. I just thought I'd put that in there just to, I don't know why. But anyway, are you finished? No, I'm not going to eat Oreos the whole time. But anyway, so my story starts back in Corpus Christi, Texas. Is where I had my first kind of manic episode. Met this girl down there, kind of really liked her, and we kind of got involved, and then like I didn't sleep for like a week probably, except for when I was like really passed out drunk. And you know, like it kind of ended because like I got, you know, oh, I love you after like a week, you know, and what can I say? I'm passionate. And so, but it just kind of ended. There was no big deal or anything like that. And then like I went off on this ship and I worked for like 4 months. Came back, went surfing in Mexico for like a month, and then like I went over to Florida to try to get a job. And well, my first serious that landed me in the hospital was I did a bunch of mushrooms, and then I just didn't sleep for like 7 days, but I didn't do anything like really crazy or anything. I was actually really quiet, which is maybe abnormal. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I'm just telling you my story. Anyway, so like I had like a huge panic attack, and they rushed me off to the hospital, and because I said something about suicide, and that I was thinking about suicide, they kept me for like 3 days. So I was in there for like 3 days, and they shot me full of something, and put me in the little rubber room or whatever. Don't feel bad if you've been there, because like it happens. And it happens to people that don't have bipolar disorder too, that are just a little bit off the rocker. So like, anyways, I get out of there after like 3 days, and I ended up being fine after that. Like, still nobody thought I was bipolar. And like I went and got a job back in Corpus Christi, and then I ended up going to Norway, and Norway was cool. Like, you know, snowboarded a lot. You know, I had a great time. Actually, met an awesome girl. Like, we were really thinking about getting married and stuff like that. And you know, well, then came the crazy. I had fractured my skull mountain biking, and then I injured my back skateboarding, and like actually it was like pretty bad. My vertebrae were all out of line, so like I went to this chiropractor. What was weird was that as soon as he like snapped my neck, like boom, I was in a manic episode. And you know, it was like the world was like all dull before that, and then all of a sudden like everything was alive. Like I saw stuff like it was like I'd never seen it before. and I thought it was great. Like, you know, like trying to describe how that feels to somebody who's never felt it. It's like trying to describe a color in words. Is and like all I can tell you is what happened. Like basically, I stopped sleeping, and like this went on. Basically, it went on for like a month, and I was kind of calming it down with marijuana, and you know, I don't know how much pot I smoked in that month, and so, but it came time for me to go home, and I basically like sent off all these emails that were really crazy, and then I hopped on a flight. I quit my job, and I hopped on a flight back to New Jersey with my dog, which is amazing that like somehow somebody let me on a plane with a dog from Norway when yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm a convincing fella. So my uncle and my stepdad picked me up there, and they were driving me back, and I wanted to stop so I can get more marijuana, and I wanted to stop at a hotel because I was actually really exhausted, and I drank the whole way over, so I was like, actually I might have been able to sleep, and they wouldn't stop, and so I got mad, and I tried to open up the door and get out on the highway, that's not a good idea. So anyway, so the police came, and like they put me in an ambulance, and like they were super nice, and they got me to the hospital, and I spent a week in a hospital there, and basically after that I ended up going back to Wisconsin. I refused going into a hospital there, and the police came again, and basically I was forced in the hospital. I tried to get out, and like I had to go to. They actually have a mental health court. So you know, I lost, and you know, then after that, so I started taking the medication, and you know, I ended up like I was on 2 medications, one mood stabilizer and one antipsychotic. And unfortunately, like what happened was when I got out to get out of the hospital, I had to have a psychiatrist. And unfortunately, the really good psychiatrists, they usually aren't accepting new patients. So I ended up with a guy, he was nice, meant well probably, but he told me that I had to be on antipsychotics for the rest of my life. I'm not on them now, and like actually I'm doing quite well. Now I take lithium. Back then I was on Depakote and Geodon. And but anyway, that should have really been the end of the story, to be honest. Like it should have, I should have you know, gotten on, you know, I finally got off that Geodon medication, and I started to feel a whole lot more normal. I was taking a mood stabilizer called Depakote, and I was doing really well. Like I got a job on an oil rig in Asia, and you know, moved out to Seattle, and like you know, actually like things were okay, like, you know, for the most part. I mean, I was still depressed at times, but you know, I mean, for some reason I still wanted to smoke pot and drink all the time, which, you know, in Seattle I drank all the time, but I didn't smoke pot really that much, which is, I mean, it's Seattle. I mean, but anyway, so like, I mean, just to make a point real quick, the reason why I'm doing this is to hopefully help somebody who's going through this or been through, or has made some mistakes as far as, there's a lot of people who go off their medication. There's a lot of people who do it, and I'm not going to be one of them ever again. But like most people don't accept that they got a major brain disorder, and yeah, it is hard to accept. But anyway, so like I'm living in Seattle, and I end up I'm just like, screw this. I want to go be able to smoke weed if I want to. So I moved back down to Texas, and I got back into it, and then I ended up quitting my job and going out to Hawaii for like a while, and I was still taking my medication, but I was just smoking a lot of pot. Really wasn't drinking too much then, but I surfed a lot out there, and surfing's always helped me, and it's a lot of bipolar people like will do stuff like that, mountain biking, skydiving, like, because it calms you down or whatever. And I skydived like 13 times in one day one time. But anyway, back to the why we're here, the whole bipolar story, right? So where was I? I don't know. Usually I have to look at my passport or my to figure out where I was in the world over the last 10 years. I'm just a merchant mariner. I'm not like anything special. So anyway, so I was living down in Texas, and then I went out to Hawaii. Then I came back to Texas, and then I really started smoking a lot of pot, and I started drinking a lot. And but I wanted to get my neck and my back issues finally fixed. So I went to a really good chiropractor, and like was getting really good massage therapy. And it was really helping a lot. Like I was, my massage therapist couldn't believe how fast I healed. But I've always been like that. And anyway, so like I get in my head that like I don't need my medication anymore, because like I thought for some reason that I was bipolar because I had a neck issue or something like that. I don't know. So like I quit taking my medication, and like a month later, like I mean it's a long, complicated story of like what all happened in that time, but there was an incident where like I was driving like 100 miles an hour drunk, and then I pulled over into this neighborhood, and there was like a roadblock, and I talked my way out of it somehow, and like I was posting all this stuff on Facebook, and I was still talking to my mom, and they knew it was happening again, so my parents actually called the police on me like, I don't know, 6 times. I don't know. It all happened over the span of a week or something like that. And at that time I was just like drinking scotch like it was going out of style. Like, I mean, yeah, it was pretty intense. Like, the thing is like when you're manic, like you actually can drink, or at least me. I'm gonna talk for me. When I was manic, my metabolism was so fast because I was so sped up that I could drink, and I would barely get drunk, and it would like go through me so fast that it was ridiculous, and I'd just lose weight like I was like a stick when they admitted me in the hospital, and but like so I ended up going to like a public mental hospital. and I was in there for like 3 days and refused medication, and you know, each one of these like mental hospitals could be like a whole, you know, 30-minute video or something like that, but I'm like really just trying to impress upon, you know, some people that, like, you know, it's, I don't know, it's not, it sucks. I mean, like, dude, it sucks. You gotta, like, if you're watching this and you got bipolar disorder, you got a brain disorder, like, but it's not all that. I mean, it does make you special in different ways, like, you know, anyway, so, anyway, I got out of that public mental hospital, and the reason why they took me there was because I didn't have insurance, and then by that time, my mom had kind of caught up with everything I was doing, and, like a couple days later, after drinking a whole lot more and posting a whole bunch more stuff on Facebook, I mean, like, one example was I was calling Glenn Beck a terrorist, which, like, I don't know, I think most of the news is terror, but because it's just scary, but, yeah, like, you know, I don't want anybody to think that I think that he's a terrorist. Like, you know, you just make, like, I would just make these associations as far as, like, what Glenn Beck was saying on his show at the time was, like, you know, it was, you know, making me distrust the government and stuff like that, and, you know, so it made me scared, so, like, it, you know, I just called him a terrorist, you know, and, but I wasn't doing it, I mean, I wasn't, like, hurting anybody, or, you know, like, for the most part, I was, like, blasting my buddy's stereo, because he was out of town, and I had the house to myself, so, like, I was just, like, blasting the stereo as loud as I could, and having this huge-ass rock concert, and, letting the whole neighborhood enjoy it, and, like, every morning I'd play Reveille at, like, 5 a.m., and, trying to get everybody up and moving and having fun, and, I don't know, I did a lot of other stuff right then, but, like, eventually I, like, woke up one day when it got really, really bad, and, like, I ended up, like, the reason why I ended up being arrested was because, like, I thought that the neighbor was cooking methamphetamines or, you know, growing weed or something like that, and, like, I was banging on his door with an American flag, you know, trying to be some sort of patriot or something, which is really funny, because my trailer was parked, like, you know, not even 15 feet away from his house, and I was smoking more ganja than the Wu-Tang Clan in there, and, and all this stuff is funny now, and, I don't know, maybe I didn't take it as seriously as it should have been, throughout the years, and that's why I ended up having one more episode after this one, but, anyway, so, like, but I didn't want to go back to the hospital, and I don't know, but I ended up back in the hospital, and I got put on an antipsychotic, to bring me down, and, you know, they shot me with something in the arm, and, you know, I spent a while in there, and, finally they let me out, and, it was funny, like, the medication that I needed was like $2,000 a month. I mean, $2,000 a month for medication, and you wonder why people quit taking it sometimes. But I don't know. No, it's serious. Like, it is a huge problem. Like, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, with mental disorders who are on the street and stuff like that. That you know, they can't afford medication, and you know, they don't know how to get the right help and stuff like that. And the help is available, but it's, you know, it's difficult. But anyway, I really don't want to make a political statement. So anyway, so where was I? I obviously you can tell that I don't have any kind of script for this. I'm just kind of trying to tell a story from a memory that really doesn't work that good. The memory never has. So basically, yeah, I get out of the hospital. I finally figure out how to get my medication online through like a Canadian pharmacy, or it might have been coming from China. I don't know. Just shoveled the crap in my mouth. But the medication made me really depressed, and it was because it was Zyprexa, an antipsychotic, when I should have been on a mood stabilizer. But apparently I refused all other medication, and you know, the one guy finally got me to take this stuff, and so I thought it was good stuff or whatever, and it turned out that I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a good medication for other people. It just turned out for me that it made me really depressed. I mean, depressed to the point of you know, well, yeah, wanting to kill myself. I never made an attempt, luckily, you know, and I'm here to tell this story and hopefully help somebody. Anyway, so like, I finally got down on enough, low enough dosage of that medication to go back to work, but it took like a year, and like the whole time I was just like losing money and like, you know, going through, you know, I don't know, it just happened, I guess. Anyway, I finally got a job, and then I kind of got it in my head because, like, you know, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos and searched a lot of stuff on the internet about bipolar disorder, and, you know, I don't know, there might be a cure out there, like, you know, people claim to have it, and you're more than welcome to look at it, I guess, but, you know, I'm just sharing my story of, like, what I went through, and, anyway, like, before I got my job, I basically nearly overdosed on, that spice chemical stuff that, you know, they're selling at gas stations and head shops for the longest time, you know, the legal weed. Yeah, I did way too much of that, and nearly died. And so I had like a little manic episode after that, though, and I was just like, oh, I'm going to be sober from now on. And I pretty much have been. And that was like 2 years ago. But like, I didn't want to be on that antipsychotic medication because it was still kind of screwing with me. And so I slowly, I was like very methodical about it this time. Like I didn't throw away my medication. I slowly weaned myself off of it. And actually, like, I was really, really highly functioning for a little over 6 months. And then I had my first manic episode completely sober. And, you know, that was it for me. Like, I was like, you know, I'll take the medication. You know, I guess I'm gonna try to make this video shorter so I can eat my Oreos and drink my milk. But you know, it's words of advice. Like, one time I met a guy at a bipolar support group, and he was on like 5 or 6 medications, and I was just like, "Where are they just doing the junk shot at you?" Just like I couldn't believe it. I was on 2. And now I take one. I take one mood stabilizer. And he was just, and he ended up changing psychiatrists and getting reduced down. And so I guess, like, I don't know, if you don't like your psychiatrist, change, or if they're not, if they're not going to just do what you want, they're your doctor, they're trying to keep you well, and that's what their primary concern is. But you go into these hospitals and stuff like that, and it's like the doctor sees you for like 5 minutes and is supposed to read all these notes from like all these group therapy sessions, and then prescribe you some medication and get you well or whatever. I mean, honestly, like, I've seen some doctors like really take that privilege a little bit too much, where they don't hardly talk to you at all. And like, I've never seen one in a group therapy session, like sitting in or something like that. But maybe they ain't got time, I don't know. Not trying to be critical, but it's just frustrating being a bipolar patient sometimes, and the stigma and all that, and like that's not really why I'm doing this video, because I'm sure I'll get some crazy comments or whatever, and I really don't care. Like, write what you want. I'm really putting this video up so that hopefully somebody because like when I first Googled this stuff and whatever, like 10 years ago, or not that long ago, but like 7 years ago or something like that, like there wasn't a lot up there, and there's starting to be more. So like I thought that I'd share my story, and and like people think that it's, some people think that it's cool to be bipolar. I'm not saying I'm not a cool guy. I think I am. But and I can't say that I choose to be another way, because I've never thought a different way. Like, this way my brain's always worked. It just has gone awry. And so I can't say that I want to be so-called normal. I just, but I'm going to take my medication from now on and live a normal life, and like, hopefully, hopefully this finds somebody that could use it, because I've seen some of the bipolar videos about, like, and people describing their manic episodes, and I didn't really describe mine here, all the things that happened or anything like that, but you don't have to be apologetic about it. I mean, you just did some stuff, and I guess I can say to you it's okay, and like, I don't know, but well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm off to my Oreos.